This is Shirley Wiggin with another adventure as an ovarian cancer survivor. This event that I'm going to tell you about happened in 2016 in the beginning of February. By then, my stomach had ripped open and I had MRSA, and I had been admitted to the UW hospital in Madison for 9 days. It was not a pleasant experience, but one thing that comes to mind is my experience with radiology. Now, they put a tube in my lung, by my lung, to drain the fluid from there, and that one was okay. It wasn't a big deal, but one day I went, after having another kind of uncomfortable experience, I was wheeled down to radiology again to have a tube put in my side. When I got there, there were 3 men who were talking about their weekend and the games that they were going to watch, and just guy talk. And they started to do the procedure. One guy was in the back administering what do you call it, anesthesia or something, so that I wouldn't feel the procedure. Well, I could feel it, and I started screaming and swearing and help and whatever, and they just kept talking about their game like they didn't even hear me. And when it was all over, the guy that administered the medicine came over and he squeezed my arm where the IV was, like he knew. He knew that it wasn't working. Yet he didn't stop and say, "Hey, wait, we gotta fix her IV." They just let me scream. They just let me feel whatever pain. Well, a month, near the end of the month of February, maybe 3 weeks, I had to go back to the hospital and have another tube put in. And the main guy from those radiologists came into my room and said, "Hey, guess who you get? Me again." And I'm like, "Oh no, not you again." And I said, "I don't want to have you because you tortured me last time. I felt like I had been raped because I screamed and screamed for help and you guys did not help me." And he says, "Well, you gotta deal with a little bit of pain." So, he didn't care. And I said, your coworker knew, he touched my arm, that the thing wasn't working. But he just said, "You need to deal with pain." And then he told me that they may have to stick the tube up my vagina or up my butthole. And I'm thinking, well, how is that going to prevent infection if you're sticking it in the wrong place? And then he left. And they came to take me back to the radiology room where the procedure would be administered. And I'm crying. I'm just bawling because of the things that he said to me. And as I went in, was wheeled into the room screaming and crying, the team lined up and they were all men. All men. And I'm like, "I need a woman!" And immediately the guy behind me says, "What kind of music do you like?" "Contemporary Christian." Okay, so they turn on the music and they get me two women, one for each side, one to hold my hand, one to make me feel comfortable, and the original guy, he recused himself, which he should have. And the new guy reassured me that it would not go in my vagina and it would not go up my butt. And in the end, it all worked out for the best because this guy was an excellent radiologist, unlike the other creep.